Therapy Army. Welcome to United Real Therapy, people. Welcome to United Real Therapy. Looks like I'm a bit of a, I don't know, maybe something wrong with me mentally. You could say that. But I put myself through and watched the game again. I didn't try to, I watched the way we defended and I watched the way we conceded the first goal and the chances we conceded. And boy. Big up Preston. And our fan base is allergic to having two quality players at every position to see their favourites not playing. They get insecure. It's called a competition for places. Perhaps, yeah, I don't agree. Nordin, tell everyone you know Deadwood FC and the depth. Yeah. And then the last one, Nordin, 2-1 to Brentford on Wednesday. Don't trust any of these Deadwood guys. Well, you've gone a bit too early, but it is what it is. Big up Saeed. Big up to every one of you. Saeed, let the people know what we just done. It got heated. It got very
yeah.
because I'm not, maybe mentally I'm not well, but I put myself through watching that game again, like I just told you guys, and I saw the chances we conceded, the way we played, and it was clear for everybody that Manchester United got bobbed for 94 minutes. We got played off the park, bobbed off the park, and that is what's devastating me. And that's why, if you want to know what my reaction is, I gave the match reaction last night, and again today I had to give a second match reaction because Saeed got me triggered in all sorts of ways.
I don't think I did got you triggered, but you know what I mean? It's one of them, man. That's just a passion of Man United. It's your opinion.
At the end of the day, I'm never going to accept Man United getting bopped by a team that was in a relegation zone a year and a half ago. I'm never accepting that. I am never accepting that. There's no excuse whatsoever. And I'm also calling out Erik ten Hag because he keeps doing this in away games, and he needs to be called out because, you know, for me, I don't give a damn whether you're the manager, player, banker, owner. I don't care. If you need to be called out, you're responsible for the way Man United are playing away from home and the way we played yesterday after we were looking for a reaction after the 7-0 humiliation at Liverpool. For me, I'm going to propose what the title of the show is.
Yeah.
Winning a Mickey Mouse trophy, a League Cup, and beating Barcelona, and the players think the season's done. Welcome, Tom. Welcome, Saeed. Saeed, how's Ramadan going, first of all?
Yeah, not too bad, man. It's flying, man. I think it's a night 12 or something like that today. It's flying, man. I can't lie, man. It's very, very smooth. You know what I mean? I can't complain, man. But yeah, all good. Sunny day, mild, not too bad, man.
Okay. Tom, how you feeling, man? How are you feeling? You good?
Yeah,
you Seven Hills?
Yeah. Big up everyone. Yeah, I'm in the Seven Hills today.
Yeah, big up. Listen, big up, Tom. I hope it's sunny in the Seven Hills for you. So I go straight to Tom with this question. I think winning that Mickey Mouse trophy and winning that game against Barcelona, and the players think it's time to put your feet up. I think the players thought they made it. I genuinely think that they've made it. Manchester United have won Mickey Mouse trophies before, and it's led to nothing. So for me, winning Mickey Mouse trophies and beating Barcelona in the Mickey Mouse Cup means F all to me. That's why I wasn't in that stadium. I didn't go to Wembley because those are not my concern. My concerns are finishing the highest we can in the Premier League and then competing for an FA Cup because it's the oldest and the greatest cup competition in the world, and then try to secure Champions League with a high tally of points because of the collapse of Liverpool and Chelsea this season, which we didn't see. We didn't foresee those two things happening. But so for me, is that our record as it stands since that 7-0 humility, since we beat Barcelona and won that, since we beat Barcelona in the Mickey Mouse Cup and we won a Mickey Mouse trophy, our away record stands. Man United have not won a game, or not even scored a goal away from home in the league. What does that tell you about this team and Erik ten Hag and his tactics?
I think it tells you everything that it needs to know, really, don't you? Because ultimately, we said before about these players, we said it a couple of years ago with Ole. Are these players, like, they can play at home in front of a £70,000 Old Trafford, like a £70,000, crowd, paying fans, loyal Manchester United fans. Like, you can play in front of those. But a lot of these players, they don't know the game away from home. They don't. They don't know how to play in a hostile environment on the road. Yeah. They don't. Wembley, for the first 10, 20 minutes in that game, I'll be real with you, all of those players, mate, they were bricking it. When they passed the ball, there was no rhythm in the play at all. And until we got that set piece and that first goal to open Newcastle up in that final, we were like, we just took the game from there. And that's the only time when we really started to play. Barcelona was exactly the same thing. You had to go a goal behind to then wake up. Yesterday, for example, we look at the game and we thought the first half, how on earth we had unearthed with 0-0 in the first half is beholds to me, to be honest with you, because I know a lot of stick gets levelled at David De Gea, but if you didn't have David De Gea in the net, you'd been 3 or 4-0 down simply easily. And I've said this before and I'll always say it, we ship goals far too easily in a season. And people criticise us for not having a plus goal percentage of 20 or 30 goals in a season, because that should be the average for Man United, plus 30 goals. I don't even remember the last time we had plus 40, something like that. Like maybe since we won the league, like because we always end up getting bopped 7-0 or of whom by ever. But overall, like you've already been reading about the mentality. For me, I think that Liverpool game was a turning point. I'll be real. I do think the Liverpool game has scarred a lot of these players because, especially the fullbacks, Shaw and Delo in that game, whenever they went forward, they was absolutely PTSD cacking it as soon as Gakpo or Salah on either of the ends was in behind them and they had to run back to their own goal. Because I don't know what it is with Delo or Shaw. They don't want to play the overlapping run. Now, they don't want to go too far up the field because they're afraid of getting countered on and getting done by on the counter-attack. And when you have players who are fearful of that and they have that doubt in the back of the mind, why are you giving them 4-year contracts? I don't know. I really don't know. Because you have somebody who is on the bench in some kids called Tyrell Malacia and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who was probably fit and not ill, he would have played. You have players like that. They don't have fear going into games. They don't have fear about taking a player on. Do you really think Aaron Wan-Bissaka fears Alan Saint-Maximin when he's pocketed players like Kylian Mbappe when we've played PSG in the Champions League? They don't fear players in one-on-ones. Delo, I don't know what it's been since Qatar, mate. He's fallen off. I'll be real. Delo fallen off. Sure, even. I think since that free kick that he put in the box for Casemiro against the Newcastle game, I think he's fallen off, substantially. But ultimately, where does the blame lie, with a lot of what happened yesterday? Probably it goes to the players and the manager. It has to be equaled out. And ultimately, it's collectively. But we know the bigger picture is that Erik ten Hag wasn't given what he needed in January to sustain that run that we was on. We knew this. But the smaller picture in terms of the here and now is these players, they do feel like they've done something because they've won a trophy. And I said before, if they win a trophy, right, that's good. You've won something as a team. You know what it means to win together. But now you have to consistently win. There's no point in winning one thing in 4 or 5 years and then going back to mediocrity for no reason. You're at Man United. That's a minimum. You should be winning one trophy a season, minimum. And Ten Hag set the precedent in what he said. Man United should be playing 70 games per season. Because if Man United play 70 games per season, it means they're being successful. It means they're getting back to where they want to be. So about fatigue and tiredness should not be a thing. But mentality, to go to Newcastle in that hostile environment where all season they've been giddy about getting Champions League football and you're getting done over and mowed over in the lawn by Sean Longstaff, I'm not having it. I'm sorry, I'm not having it. Sean Longstaff, he was a player that was supposedly coming to us at one point in time. Newcastle, mate, they've transitioned Joe Linton from a striker to take his position and he's outdoing Scott McTominay. Listen, McTominay, mate, I'd have left you up there in Newcastle, mate. Go on piss on a Sunday night because you'd have been better off just staying there, mate. I don't know what he brings us. And there's all these different, conspiracy theories about, he played Weghorst and he's not a number 9 and this, the other, like, well, if he's not a number 9, what are you playing for then? I'm sorry, you're playing him for what? Legs? If you need legs, mate, like we needed you 3 or 4 years ago. More legs in him, man.
Remember Ollie?
We need you 3 or 4 years ago, mate, with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Not now. But we take the precedent of the game and look at the whole mentality of the squad and think, a lot of these players, mate, they are scarred from what happened this time last season. And the only difference from this time last season is you have Anthony, Martinez, and Eriksen, really. if you want to, point it plain simple, because Malacia doesn't get enough games. Those are the only real 3 players that are different to what this team was last season when the wheels fell off the bus. And ultimately, when you fear going away to Newcastle as Man United fans, whenever we feared that, whenever are we fearing playing Brentford, for Christ's sake, even in our own backyard? Whenever are we
That's the
fearful
fear,
about going,
Tom. The fear
going
is
to
the
Brighton?
mentality, though. The fear
That's
is the
the mentality.
mentality.
Exactly, Saeed. That's the point
Yeah.
I'm making. The mentality does not bode well for this squad going forward. And just on the final point, on the peripheral, Eric Ten Hag should not be dismayed in this case in terms of criticism, because he deserves the criticism just as much as the players, because he chose that squad yesterday. And if he's because the only thing that I really saw as potentially done in that game was counter attack when they sent people up for a corner. That was the only thing I could have seen us potentially scoring from at all in the game. And we couldn't even counter attack against Newcastle. And if you're trying to play counter attack, you should play Sancho as a winger and Rashford through the middle. Not without Weghorst, because what's Weghorst going to do? Give you an out ball? You ain't controlling anything in 45 minutes at St James's Park, so you weren't going to control it for the second half. And ultimately, there was a lack of managerial responsibility on his part for not changing something at half time, because I'm sure a lot of people would have done things differently in terms of the second half. And I probably make different personnel in the midfield. But like you say, top to bottom mentality, these players they think the season's done. They think they've made it to the top 4 already. Sure, like I say, he only seems to play when he's got a new contract in the wings. Like, that's it. And then they just sit happy and proudly on the wage that they do. But like you say, they need they needed some sort of reality check going back into this, and hopefully they've got that now, and they'll go forward now. But I don't know.
How many times can we say that? How many more times can we say
back to
life, back to reality?
Back to reality.
Saeed, I ask you the same question. Listen, there's 90 of you in here. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe
Like the video,
to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit the notification button because it lets you know we're next live, people. We're 80 away, I think, or 90 away from 7,000. So get joining there. Get joining. Let's see how many of you subscribe, man. Saeed, I'll ask you the question. We beat Barcelona. That was a cup final for Man United fans, and a large part of the fan base. That was a cup final for them, and winning the Mickey Mouse Trophy, and the season was a wrap. We over celebrated. I don't really agree with a lot of things what Roy Keane says, but Roy Keane was like, "There's something's changed. Like the intensity and the edge has gone off. There's no over celebration." I've talked about it on here countless. I've done 8 and 9 times. I've got you and Tom on here. Talked about how unsustainable it is, how the depth, all of that's not there. So can you just explain to me how a Man United not scored a goal away from home since we beat Barcelona and Newcastle in Wembley?
I don't know, man. The goals have been drying up, mainly because we only have one source of goals, and that is Marcus Rashford. Bruno Fernandes has not been firing. Anthony's not done enough. Martial obviously is injured. Weghorst is not a goal scorer. We don't get goals with midfield. Sabitzer, I don't think he's got a goal, but he's only coming in January. McTominay doesn't even get goals. Fred's got goals, but then again, he's dropped. This is what I don't understand. Fred is one of your, he's got 6 goals this season, and yet he's not playing because McTominay runs around a lot or is a bit more physical. This myth that McTominay is physical and he gets about and he puts in tackles, I don't see that as well. So again, and what baffles me about Ten Hag is his comments in the week. He said something on the lines of, I think the journalist was alluding to the fact that, do you see McTominay as a more of a 10 and whatnot? And then all of a sudden, he says no, he's a midfielder. He's someone that for me is that I'm guessing is a holding midfielder or someone who will play more further back. All of a sudden, he sticks him in the 10 role as a more of a advanced midfielder. That's what I didn't get as well. So again, was he playing mind games with the fan base? I don't know. The substitutions as well, they've been a bit baffling as well lately. I think normally at the start of the season, everyone's been looking at Ten Hag thinking he's been making subs at the right time, been making certain substitutions very, very good. Impact we scored 19 goals from the bench. This is what's been happening. But I look at Ten Hag, he is overcomplicating it away from home, and that's my concern for me. And I said it to people. I said, listen, there's going to be more results like this. And people are saying, well, no, we'll learn from our mistakes. Tottenham, I don't think we're going to win that game. I'll tell you that right now. What's the other game that we got away from home? Brighton. We're not going to win that game. And ultimately, the players, they're not. There needs to be a maximum players where we look at, we think, yeah, they're just not cutting it for me, man. McTominay in 2023 ain't good enough. You know, for me, Dalot, there's question marks over there. Luke Shaw, there's always going to be question marks. How long are we going to keep them in the squad for, in the long-term project of Man United Football Club? How many players are we going to say, does Ten Hag have to keep on, you know, kind of almost making them better? How long are we going to keep saying, how can you know when you say turn water into wine? Like, how many are we going to keep doing that? How many players are we going to turn water into wine? There's going to be a limit. And that's where I think a lot of frustration is being put on Ten Hag. Like, he's doing miracles with certain players. He's reached the maximum limit. And I think he needs to understand that, you know what? I've done enough now in certain players. Maybe they're just not good enough. Maybe I can't do more. You know, maybe this is it now. This is what they can give me. And you know what? Next season, I must get better. That's the sign of a top manager, is when you look at it, you think, you know what? I'm open to admitting I got it wrong. Right now, move on. When he's become stubborn and he keeps persisting with it, and then he has his favourites, that's where it gets sticky. And that's where people start calling him up. But right now, it's his first season. That's where he gets a pass from me. And people might not like it, but first season, I always say with a manager, get me top 4, get me a trophy, get me a better style of play, be consistent, be hard to beat, show what you can at home. Them things, I've been seeing a lot of principles from Ten Hag. I understand what he's doing for me. But next season is where I think, you know what? That's where I want more from me. That's where I want, okay, that player there, he needs to be moved on. This here, it don't work. That don't work. That's where it is. Right now, it's going to be a lot of pain. I understand it's going to be a lot of pain. He's working through things. He's trialing. It's trial and error this season. Obviously, we need it to work because at the end of the day, you don't do trial.
Well, we're going to get so Saeed. We're going to have to accept getting humiliated.
I didn't say that. Again, I didn't say that. That one, it can't happen. But Ten Hag is very, very persistent with something. I don't know what it is. Someone needs to ask him that question away from home. What is it that you do differently to when you're away at home? To me, there should be a baseline and a style of play. Same with Guardiola, same with the top teams in Europe. They have a baseline of style of play. Everything else is tweaked. Certain personnel, certain tactics, maybe out of possession. Maybe you tweak things. But I just look at the game plan. I think it's always the same game plan. It's just like, yeah, this and that might work, and then this. Or he goes with one certain game plan, and then it doesn't change after that away from home. Like against Liverpool, we pressed man v man. So player v player, we pressed. And then it was a case of we got absolutely done over. And then here, against Man City, it was the same thing. We did the same press, 4-0, and it was game over. And this is the same thing with here. I didn't see what the style of play was. It didn't really change throughout the whole game. And then he took off the 2 centre-backs, and we could see the goal. So,
Saeed, this Erik Ten Hag, do you believe, even if it's your first season, that the manager has to take criticism for the away record against the top 9?
Not the reactionary levels that we're seeing. I get it. 100% he deserves criticism. But to the levels maybe that we should be saying Ten Hag out and whatnot. No.
No.
You're not saying that.
No, there's a massive gap between Ten Hag out. It's just that you more than anybody, you wrote a book on that, right? When you want a manager out, right? You're the chairman.
I don't want to go there, man. I don't want to go there.
Listen, you're the German.
It would take me a lot to be.
Listen, and the CEO. No, I'm not saying to you. No. What I'm saying to you, if you know when you're a manager out, there is a massive difference criticizing a manager, right? Rightly so, for his in-game management, because when he gets it, Saeed, we come on here and we go, fantastic job from Ten Hag today. Brilliant play by Rashford. Rashford, so Bruno was amazing today. This player was amazing. Luke Shaw out of this world, unplayable. We say all that. When they absolutely do not give us any sort of performance, no aggression,
70% the players, 30% manager. I would say for me, it's still 70% the players, 30% manager.
So why not change it then? Why are you not punishing them then when they're not doing what
he's got to work with? What he's got. Look what he's got to work with, Noreen. That's
no, mate, Saeed. I'm sorry, Saeed. I'm not gonna lie to you. Have someone like Sidan Iqbal, Manu on that pitch, because I know they'll give it. Then
That's
watch
another
that.
one as well.
And you know what? They'll keep the ball. They're not going to be scared not to have the ball. I'm
I need
sorry
to go to his
say that.
barbershop, man. I
I'm
need to go to his
sorry.
barbershop.
Listen, HK
You know that,
Music,
you know
brother. You know I got nothing but love for you. Big up for the super chat. I'm gonna say this. He said the players cannot play football unless you sit back and counter attack. Won't do the Ten Hag won't do. The results will stay like this. Only hope Eriksen's case. Listen, yo. Eriksen, nearly 32 years old. A guy that gasses out after 50 minutes.
No,
he's our savior.
Hold on.
He's our savior.
30.
Hold on, Nuruddin, hold on. A couple of weeks
he's our
ago, mate,
savior.
you were on here, tearing your eyes out, saying, "Do you know what? I missed that 50 minutes that he used to give us because you know
Exactly.
what? It gives us
you
50
know what?
minutes more than McTominay does."
And then you know what? And then you know what I do? You know what, Tom? And then I start remembering. I look back at the top 9 teams that we played this season away from home.
Oh, come on.
No, let me finish.
You didn't know this till that Sky Sports stat came up.
Let me finish.
Exactly.
Let me finish, please.
The revision is mad.
I watched the results against the top 9 teams, and I look at a game like Villa, Eriksen running back, gasping for more air. That's what I remember. That's what I remember. We're getting busted and we're getting outplayed, getting bopped all over the pitch, right? Games like Villa. That's what I remember. And anybody who's going to make excuses because of Eriksen and Casemiro, we've seen with Eriksen and Casemiro, Man United being buried. So don't give me any of that. Don't give me any of that. Let me get this super chat. Pep did not change his game plan. City fans complain as well. It works. Why should Ten Hag? Because we're not Man City. We are not HK Music. Oh, breaking news for HK Music. Man United are not going to have, we've got something called Glazedonomics. We don't let players go. We reward fucking failure. That's what we do at this football club.
No, but he's trying to say he doesn't change his...
No, we're not Man City, though. We're not Man City. We're not. No, who club that you're supporting, bro? No, who you're supporting.
It's the same principle. It's about principle. What he means is about principle, his style of play.
Yes, you know what they do? You know what Man City do? They support their manager till the death.
Yeah, I get that. What he's trying to say...
No, so don't compare us to Man City. Don't compare us to Man City.
He's not comparing. He's just giving an example.
At the end of the day, listen, he says Pep. He's talking about Pep.
Yeah, but he's giving an example. He's giving
an example, Nuruddin.
Man City,
Pep.
Pep there, he is supported. Look how many players they've signed. Look how many players that they've signed since Pep's been there. I say this to you, HK Music. Man City was signing players for Pep before Pep got there. So don't ever compare Pep and Man City to Man United. We're not that football club, mate. We're not.
It's an example, Nuruddin.
Yeah,
it's an example. Yes, but I'm explaining to you in the bigger picture. We're not Man City. We don't have the same owners. We don't have people who want to win. We've got fucking cowards and owners and vultures who have got the club in £1 billion debt. That's what we have. So Erik Ten Hag can't use that excuse. Erik Ten Hag needs to effing understand who the fuck he's managing. I said it when we got hammered by City. I said it again when we got hammered by Liverpool. And I'm going to stay with you, Saeed. Where's this effing reaction in the league? Where's the reaction
you know what
that
it is,
everybody
though?
said they're going to get in the league?
This is where you're going wrong, Nuruddin. After Man City went on a run, did we not? Yes or no? After Brentford, we went on a run. Yes or no? Did we not?
Yes, we did.
Yes. So there you go then. After
the 7-0, did we go on a run?
Yeah, because we
in the league.
But you got to remember, we had that game against Southampton where Casemiro got injured, and then it was the international break. We played Fulham, and it was the international break. We haven't had a run of games to kind of to talk about. It's not. We haven't had a sample size of games for me to say we've not had a reaction. You know what I mean? So it is too early. Okay. Now Newcastle, Brentford, Everton. Then I can say, okay, after that game, you can be like, you know what? It's been not been good. If you don't get maximum points out of them games, then I can say to you, you know what, Nuruddin, it's not been a good reaction. That's what I can say, worrying time. But your sample size is only, 2 games? Whereas Brentford and Man City have been so many games where we've been on a big run. So I think you're being a bit very harsh on the team and on the manager.
I'll ask you the question again. I stay with you on this one. I'm sorry. You can bring Johnny Cochran back from the grave, and he ain't gonna help you today. I'll ask the question again, Saeed.
Your questions are not.
Saeed, you're understand right now. I say the question again. In a way, since we've got humiliated, what's Man United since the Barcelona game, since we won that Mickey Mouse trophy? What's Man United's away record? Have we scored any goals?
So we went to Real Betis.
No. Away
from home.
Good try.
We scored.
Saeed, one day you'll make a good politician, but not on this show.
We've already had one away game.
Not on this show. I'm talking about the league. That's
what I'm saying to you. Your sample size is too small. It's one league away, Newcastle.
In 5 hours of league games away, Man United, 5 hours, have scored zilch away goals.
What other games are you talking about? Am I missing a game, Tom? Away from home?
I don't know for sure. Because we've played FA Cup. This is the problem. We've played 3 separate competitions where we've played most of the cup games for FA Cup. We've played it all at home, have we not? So I can't recall
at home.
Those. Apart from a couple of away games, like I don't even know as far as we can go back, to be honest, because we've had international break and then
that's what I'm saying.
You've had Europa League. To be fair, we haven't played as many league games recently as we have European or domestic games in terms of cups.
There you go.
That's the only thing. I think we've played more cup and European games than we have done league. But even over those records, we haven't been dominant in any of the games that we've played, mentality-wise. Like, we went to Betis, and if we're being honest, we were under the cosh for 40 minutes when we had Harry Maguire and Martinez at the back. We only got the slight misfortune of when Rashford blew one into the bottom corner, and that was it, and got us through the tie. But overall, with what you've just said about H. Ken's point with Pep and everything, the only thing that you can say with Pep is when Pep fully came in, he understood everything that he needed in that team. And what I mean by that is he understood these fullbacks aren't going to be able to play my style of football. Pep didn't come in and he didn't adapt to those players. He said, nah, if you don't suit me, you're gone. It's as simple as that. I have one style of play and I ain't going to adapt just to suit you. Ten Hag, he can't do that with Man United because he's had to come in here and assess the squad and options because Man United don't have the budget that City do to just blow up and say, right, I want 4 fullbacks in the football club. There's £200 million to do it. We don't have those sort of finances to do that. Commercially, we do, and viably, probably under sustainable ownership, we would. But in the modern day, how the Glazer family have burnt us at the stake, we can't do that. He's got to bide his time with Tyrone Malacia for £15 million. He's got to use with what he's got. And ultimately, this is what he has got. He's not got anything else that he can utilise. And exactly. when you take one player out of the team, you already know who's going to be lined up. And at a big football club like Man United, when you take Wan-Bissaka out of the team, for example, out of yesterday, you already knew who was going to be starting right back. That should not be a coincidence at Manchester United. It shouldn't. Man United should have a set starting 11, like we had back in the day, where it was you have your main starting 11 that bolsters every single game throughout every single campaign. And then you have little subs here and there that can come in and dictate and take on the role that somebody else has done. For example, you take Casemiro out of this team, we already know we're back to McTominay and Fred, or one of them, if not both. And when you look at that, you do the same thing for the defenders. You take Varane out of the back line, you're basically back to half of Maguire or Lindelof, of whom don't know the Ten Hag way of playing. Martinez and Varane have been able to adapt to it because they've either played familiar styles or they've been his boys. And ultimately, we go back to the same point. Away from home, Manchester United, and as soon as Erik Ten Hag came into this club, he did not have the parameters to say, this is my style of football and I'm going to play it whether you like it or not. Because he doesn't have the capacity to get rid of 6 or 7 players in one window. It doesn't happen at Man United. At City, Liverpool, these other clubs, it can happen. Man United, it can't. Because we don't have the financials to replace every single one of those players. But we go around the houses and everything, and like I'm just going to revert back to the same point. It goes back to it with Ten Hag. He does not have the parameters to come in and say, this is my style of football. So he's had to adapt. And when you have to adapt your philosophy and how you believe football should be played, just to suit a squad, you're going to get results like what you got yesterday, like what you got at Liverpool. Because if we played the Ten Hag way he was playing football, I personally, if he had 4 or 5 of his key maybe players in that team, more to what he's already got now, and he has a majority of a squad which is his, I don't think we would have lost 7-0 at Liverpool. I don't think we would have lost 2-0 yesterday. Because the players would know his style of play and they would have acclimatized to the league by this point in the season for any new players.
Tom, let me just get the super chat. HK who said, but Ten Hag does not show these players they cannot do it to the they cannot do it. The owners will keep them. Breaking news, HK Music. Glazers keep failure and reward failure anyway. They reward failure and they keep failing players because of the way that we will run as a football club. So I'm sorry to say, but you're wrong on that one either. Man United are going to reward players like Luke Shaw, like we've seen the movie before many million times, and you've all seen it. And the likes of Diego Dalot, who's done absolutely nothing since the World Cup, done absolutely nothing. So I'll come to you, Saeed. Does this worry you that the Glazers are going to stay when you hear a 4-year contract for a player that who only plays for a contract?
He's signed now. He's signed. He's just signed a new deal now. Just confirmed. Luke Shaw signed a new deal from Man United. Listen, it doesn't surprise me. It kind of like, for me, just shows you that the what do you call it? Rich and Arnold and whoever, they're still in control, innit? Ultimately, it's an asset. Ultimately, you know what I mean, Glazonomics, whatever you want to call it. They wanted to keep him. I don't see the rush. Is anyone looking to buy Luke Shaw right now when he's got a year left on his deal? Is anybody looking to kind of make sure he's okay? Like, I would have waited to the end of the season. That would have been better for me. Exactly. I think John Myrtle gave the contract because Ten Hag's comments press conference was a bit funny because he said he didn't know about it. Obviously, he probably knew that, you know, it was on the wall, but he didn't probably think that it would happen so soon. We don't know yet. That needs to come out in the open soon. But again, you know, rewarding failure. What's he achieved to kind of get that? What's he done? We need to wait until the end of the season. Everything is always done at the end of the season, especially a club like Man United, where, you know, these guys have bluffed us so many times, where they pretended like they're on good form, and then they kind of done it for a little bit, but over the course of the season, you know,
it's part of the failure. It's part of 8-year failure. 8 years of failure. Sabat Hussein, you sound like a clown, and you type like a clown, because I'm not a bully. What I do is I like to get my point across, and then people then can rebut me. There's nobody bullying anybody. It's about football opinion, mate. That's all it is. So I'm sorry if I've triggered your inner victim, because that's what it seems like I've done. I'm sorry that you got bullied, but you're chatting absolute ridiculous. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Tom, so it's confirmed, yeah? Breaking news, is it, Saeed?
Yeah. Laurie confirmed it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he has something to do with 4 years.
A rewarding failure for 8 years of Man United. What does that take to you about the Glazers? You feel like the Glazers are staying? For me, that's a big sign about the Glazers staying.
I don't think it is, no, because like I say, they've still got.
It is to me. No, it is. No. I'm sorry, Tom. It is.
Well, that's you, Nuruddin. This is me in terms of it, where they've got to still operate as a football club, and if that means they have to hand out a contract, they have to hand out a contract. Like, they can't. They're under some sort of contractual obligation to negotiate with players or agents.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Is Luke Shaw's coming to an end at the end of the season?
No, it's not at the end of the season. No, because they extended it for a further year.
Oh, so what's the rush? Why are you rewarding? Why are you rewarding for failure?
I'm not saying that I agree with it, Nuruddin. I'm saying that in terms of how the football club operates, you've just said about that you believe the Glazers are staying because they're giving out long-term contracts for mediocrity. In terms of what they've done with Luke Shaw, you have to say in the middle of a season, I don't always agree unless a player's going out at the end of the season and they could walk out the door. Giving a player mid-term in the middle of a season is always a good thing. I don't think it is. I think you should wait until the campaign's over and then you can assess them when you've seen them for a full season. Like Ten Hag will do with a lot of these players, where he's going to pluck out the ones that he thinks, no good. I'll give you a year to impress me, and you've shown nothing. And ultimately, we will see at the end of the season when he assesses the whole squad. But going back to the thing with the Glazers and potentially staying and everything, they've still got to operate as a football club. They are still the owners at this point in time. It's not like if Sheikh Yassin was in the door and he was on about selling, or Sajim or whoever. They ain't just gonna suddenly say, "No, I ain't gonna give anybody contracts. I ain't gonna negotiate with anybody." Like they're still negotiating with David De Gea. They're still negotiating with Marcus Rashford's camps about new deals. So it doesn't surprise me. Liverpool, for example, at one point in time were on about selling, but they were still buying players in the market with Cody Gakpo and stuff. So football clubs still have to run and operate. And it's not exactly as if it's the Glazer family's money that they're using to operate to give Luke Shaw a new deal. It's just from the Man United's commercial revenues and the stockpile that's whatever's left from the 18 years that the Glazer family have been at the helm of the football club. That's all that is. They've still got to operate in the same way. It doesn't mean that they're not leaving or going or anything like that, because if they were on about going, if they were on about staying and everything, you'd have heard about it by now. They've had a 2 week gap to say that we were staying, and they would have had no backlash, no games, no protests, no nothing. So if they wanted to have done some sort of major statement, then they would have done it there. And even if they want to do this major statement in the climate of a season, I don't think they're going to do that, because they know that financially it will break the club, it will break the fan base probably, and three, overall, all these sponsors and everybody that wants to negotiate the deals, like the Adidas deal, the money's going down. You need a new shirt sponsor when TeamViewer supposedly pull out at the end of the year. Like, you're going to be under so much scrutiny from all angles if you don't at least keep, even if they don't want to sell, like, to at least keep it going till the end of the season. You've got to get to the end of the season, and then you could do a big claim or a big decision as to, no, we've done a U-turn. We're off. Because
sorry,
ultimately, it goes down to the same point, Nurdin.
Listen, Tom,
If they get the money that they want on the table, Nurdin, they're going to walk. Let's be real.
Listen,
They are
Tom,
going to walk.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to disagree. It's straight up simple. It's not like the contract is running out to the end of the season. It's not like it's running out to the end of the season. It's not. There's no danger of Luke Shaw's contract running to the end of the season. Manchester United, come the last game of the season, could prepare all of the paperwork, have the conversations with Luke Shaw. And I thought, because what Saeed's saying to me is more of a worry. And you know what? I just looked at the quote again. He was caught out in the press conference. He was like, "Oh, has he signed?" He was like, "Oh, he signed." I don't know. You got to ask Murta. So it's Murta's now signing players without consulting the manager. Is that what's going on? I'm Man United, Saeed.
But this is the thing. I've just seen a report here from the Athletic saying the Glazers communicated it's business as usual as Man United as the ownership talks progress. I do get what Tom is saying. I do understand that you have to have business as usual. But your point and the point we were making is still valid. Like, is there a dialogue between the two? Like, why isn't the manager being told about it before a press conference? That's where the issue is. And these will be little things that you might just dismiss right now, but later on, when all that things, you know how the leaks are coming out today about Sancho and this and that, and the manager's not impressed. You see how leaks come out the following morning and how the media take advantage of the struggles of Man United because it sells news and it's its selling point. But I think there are contrasting views. It is a case of the manager didn't know about it, but also Man United are doing what's best for them in terms of, you know what, we have to make this project sellable. We have to make sure that people are on a good contract.
But Saeed, from the media's perspective, you can sell more for being negative about Man United than you can for being positive, and that's the difference.
Especially Man United. Who cares when Man United are doing well? The media are struggling at the minute, mate. That Samuel Lucas and whoever it is here, they're struggling because they can't get a tune out of Ten Hag. Look at the way Ten Hag is with the media. They never ever get anything out of Man United. And obviously they're out of a job at the minute. Obviously, Manchester Evening News are thinking, hold on a minute, what's going on? We don't like positive news about Man United. We don't like positive news. This is not great. No one's going to buy the paper. I don't know how the Manchester Evening News how much it is now, Nuruddin. Is it 45p still? Has it gone up? Yeah, I don't know how much it is, but it needs to sell. So, and it's not selling at the minute.
It's simple for me. Luke Shaw's contract it's not it's not be all and of it. Man United are in a crucial part of the season, and for the way that he's been playing lately, and the way that he's showing, Manchester United to give him a new contract shows to me nothing has changed at this football club. Absolutely nothing. All it is rewarding more failure and failure. There's no other player that typifies the failure that Man United have gone on in the last 8 years. Luke Shaw has been a huge part of that failure. Huge part of that. And Glazonomics, the only thing Glazonomic knows is how to reward players. That's all it knows. And nobody can tell me any different. Nobody. The Glazers can say whatever they want. For me, ain't no change. And if I'm an owner and players have been, if I'm a potential buyer of a football club and players are getting massive contracts right, left, and centre, what is that telling me? What is that telling me? That these people are not even serious about selling a football club? It's an effing joke.
Yeah, but Nuruddin, would the Glazer family really
It's a
care
joke.
if Luke Shaw or Marcus Rashford signed a 5-year deal? Would they really care if they were going out of the door? They wouldn't care if whoever they leave the tools or the project to, of whomever they hand it over to. They won't care. They won't care if Man United, if Eric Ten Hag got to the end of the season and there was no money for him to buy any players in the summer, which there's still question marks over if there is even any money there, because there wasn't any in January, and he wanted it to be taken out of the summer budget to go to January. And if you're taking what you supposedly said is the summer budget, what, a 2 million loan for Weghorst and a couple of million loan for Sabitzer for 6 months each. So look, what you talking about? What, £10 million budget that you've taken out of the summer window, out of the kitty? Like, if you're talking about that, then ultimately, what do the Glazer families have to offer Eric Ten Hag?
It's very dangerous,
and it is very dangerous because they're on the peripheral side. Because if they can only offer players 4-year terms like they're doing with Luke Shaw, and like they're wanting to do with Marcus Rashford and probably David De Gea, they're having to slash David De Gea down to the bare minimum. But I want £300,000 a week still. Like, if that's all they're prepared to offer him, and David De Gea still wants to negotiate this, then ultimately, so at some point in time, if it doesn't get to a medium, the Glazer family or whoever the negotiators are at Man United are going to say, "No, Dave, if you're not going to shut us down to this price, we're going to have to let you go." And sometimes you need that tough love at a football club, whether that's a manager has to implement it like he did with Ronaldo, or you have to use the tough love as a football club and say, well, we can get a younger goalkeeper out there who would be happy to take half of the wage that you're on, Dave, and would be a long-term option for us. A Diogo Costa, a David Raya, whoever you want to use as that example. And you can throw that at David De Gea and say, so if you don't sign these numbers and these figures that we want, the door's always there, Dave. And ultimately, at Man United, same thing that I've just said, the Glazer family, they would not care if Dave signed a new deal, if Marcus signed a new deal, or if Luke signed a new deal for long term. Because does that mean that they're going to stay long term? No, it doesn't. The only thing that you can say is a telltale sign about the Glazer family staying is if they do something massive and drastic in terms of, we'll appoint a new football director. Let's go and get Luis Campos and we'll sack John Murtough. If you do something like that, that's saying, right, you're bringing in a world experienced operator like Luis Campos, who is a man who projects for 4 or 5 years of generational players. That's the sort of signing or sort of putting pen to paper that would make people think otherwise. Luke Shaw signing a new deal, in my eyes anyway, is just business as usual. Players sign contracts when managers get sacked. Does it mean that they're going to be the next manager's perfect signing? No, it doesn't. Because time moves for no man in football. And ultimately, the Glazer family have set their precedent of, we want £6 billion. And if somebody, regardless of if they have to use finance, regardless if it's their own pocket, or if it's a sovereign wealth fund, wherever, if somebody gives them £6 billion, or even, just maybe even a penny off of it, the Glazer family are going to bite their hand off because they will never get that price ever again. And that's why they're getting it now, because the market is so high in demand for a football club. And they know the people are out there interested to get it, because they wouldn't have come this far in the process if they weren't 100% certain. They've been to the club, they've assessed everything, they've looked at it. They've even got the financial records of Man United right now. And it's still not made Sir Jim Ineos or Qatar walk away. They wouldn't come. These people are high-level business operatives. They wouldn't come this far if they didn't think they were going to get a deal. And you can say what they want about the Glaze family doing a complete U-turn. If they do a U-turn and stay, mate, good luck, Glazer family, if you're going to run this football club in 2 years. Good luck, because the money will shore up, mate, and you'll be on bankruptcy. And then you will have to sell. And you won't get 6 billion, mate. You'll be lucky if you get half of what you want.
But they're happy, you know, they're happy. I see something today from was it Jamie Jackson? The report today.
Yeah, Jamie Jackson of The Guardian, yeah.
Yeah, so I seen that report. That was a bit interesting. That read there. For those that haven't read it, go read it, man. It's very, very extensive report. But
what did he say? Sum it up for us, Saeed. What did he say in the report?
No. I'm gonna read it. I've not read it, but that's what I'm saying to everybody. Read it later on. But I'm gonna definitely read it. And he was talking about something, you know, in terms of the Glazers and how they're moving and how they're operating. You know, the loans that they're putting out and whatnot, and they're saying that they is it a bank that they're using it, Tom?
Yeah, the bank that they use. Yeah.
The Bank
that they're using.
Bank of America that they use for
exactly.
The loans,
Bank of America, and the fact that, you know, they can pay the money off. It was crazy, man, and it is a bit scary as to what they're doing right now, and the club right now are operating, and they're thinking to themselves, you know what, you know, business as usual, everything's okay, things are all right. You know, they're giving a positive reflection towards Man United Football Club. When reality, we know, it's very dark. It's very, very, you know, it's invested in a lot of. It's just black. The football club is in a dark place, and right now we need some sort of clarity as to what's going on, and we're not getting that. And that in itself, and then the fact that now United are in the top 4 race, and now we're not, and now it's this and that. Everyone's a bit confused at the minute. It's a very confused fan base, Nuruddin. It really is. And this is even to Tom as well, even the people that are watching right now. Everybody's confused because they don't know what's going on. Who's going to buy the football club? So Jim Ratcliffe. Then you've got Ten Hag in the midst of it. Then you've got season ticket prices going up. Then you've got, what do you call it?
They're getting contracts.
Yeah, contracts going up. So it is it's all a bit of a madness going on at Man United right now. And there's only, 3 months left of the season left? So you've got all this going on.
2.5 months.
Yeah.
2.5 months, yeah, left to the season over. And it's not, it's a place where I feel like even Ten Hag now is a little bit kind of like, you know, when they keep asking about the questions about the Glazers, he keeps saying, they've left me out of it now. They don't want me to talk about it. I'm focused on the football, and that's it. So they've told him, don't answer the media, leave it to it, and then that's it. So even he's like, yo, listen, I don't want to talk about it. We don't know what's going on. Leave them to it. And maybe that's what Ten Hag's thinking at the minute. He's looking at the football. He's trying to work out what he's got to work out. And that's where I think I don't want a scrutiny to be based on all of Ten Hag. Because then again, he hasn't got a striker still. There's still a lot of players out missing. You know, we are playing a lot of football. And again, it's not excuses, but things have to change. And ultimately, we're waiting for that change to happen. Once that change happens, I think everybody's outlook on this season, and so far, it can be a bit. But because it's all over the place at the minute, people's emotions are up and it's down. It's there. It's reactionary. We're angry. It's a lot, man. It's a lot to take in, man.
Me personally,
he's right. He's waiting for them to go as well. You think he wants the Glazers to stay? He wants to either know, are you going or are you staying? He wants to know. He's got a big season. He's come here and grilled the Glazers.
Said he doesn't know who's paying the contracts in the summer to buy new players. He doesn't know.
Listen, the biggest thing for me, the biggest thing for me, I've always won the fan base, and I've stayed consistent all season. Don't get whatever would happen with the Glazers would happen. But for me, when they're giving out Glazonomic contracts, another 4 years for somebody who's shown maybe 4.5 months of form, for me says it all. Robert Smith says, Nuruddin, talking about victimhood, give me a break. Robert Smith, are you gonna be a coward, or are you gonna talk about what you need to talk about, or are you gonna come out and say and expand on that, or are you gonna be a coward?
What's Robert saying? I thought it wasn't Robert who was saying that. It was someone else.
Robert Smith. So yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd like you to expand, or I think you're just gonna be the coward you are, because you're insinuating without saying what you need to say. If you're gonna say something, say it, all of it. Don't say half of it. Big up Khalid from Lassie for all the breaking news. Big up to him. Lots of love to him. Hopefully coming back from Grenada. At least you know one thing about you,
Big
Khalifa
up,
Medina,
Khalees.
is that you are in the most picturesque, getting the most sunshine, topping up that melanin, doing all of that stuff, while we are suffering here, right, in the UK. And at least you
Mate,
know
it's
what?
sunny, man. Go outside,
Listen,
Lord. It's sunny.
listen, the biggest thing what you can do is that United gets smashed, you can go for a nice walk along the beach, mate. Listen to the wind.
Yeah, it's true.
That's the difference between me and.
Oh, he's
He's
gone.
gone.
He's gone.
I
They've
told
said,
you
you
the
know what,
Glazers,
man?
mate. The Glazers, mate.
The
They're
Glazers
on
not
high
having it,
work.
man.
I think Neil
They
Ashton
won't
has
talk
had
about
enough of that
Glazenomics,
talk,
mate. Glazenomics, they're off.
Listen, Neil Ashton has had enough of that. Enough of that talk. Got kicked off. At the end of the day, it's simple, people. It's simple. I want to go directly to Eric Ten Hag, Saeed. Fans like me who've seen Man United win everything, Saeed, who don't like my team getting humiliated. I'm genuinely, I expected a lot more from him. I expected a lot more from Eric Ten Hag. And Eric Ten Hag, for me, tactically, has been found out because he doesn't have the quality and depth and strength in the team.
What do you mean found out?
Let me finish the question. I think he's overexpanded himself in all these competitions with his Mickey Mouse trophy.
Overcomplicating, yeah, right? You're right.
And what he's done is showing himself that now Man United are very easy to work out. Man United are easy to play against away from home with these cowardly players. And some of these cowardly players are the ones who are getting these 4-year contracts. And at the end of the day, it's simple. Man United have to achieve the objectives that the managers set, the players have set, the coaching staff have set. And to be giving out contracts to players, for me, shows me everything I need to know about where this football club is heading. Because this is not necessary. Because Luke Shaw's contract is not running. So it's a two-part question. Has Eric Ten Hag been found out tactically for the depth and the quality that he has in his squad?
No.
Why do you say no when our record is the way
because
it is?
That's a very harsh statement. It's almost as if you're giving a statement that is very. What's the word I'm looking for? It's either yes or no. It's more than that, Nuruddin.
No,
you can't just say we've found out. We've beaten all the games. Top 6 at home. We've won all the games.
No, Saeed, let me rephrase my question, and I apologize to you. I apologize to you if I have not made it specifically. But I'm sure I'm either going mad, right? And that could happen because I'm.
Do you understand your question? Do you understand your question? If you
so let me
finish. That means he's not good enough, right?
Listen, let me say the question again. Has Eric Ten Hag been found out in away games against the top 9? Yes or no? In yes or no?
Yeah, I can get. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're right. That's a better question.
Okay, that's the. So is his away record being found out? Is his away record in the league being tactically outworked and outthought, and his in-game management have been found out? Has he been found wanting? Yes or no?
Yeah, but found
as
one.
Part of them him tinkering. Has him tinkering, right, left, and center, and tinkering. Sometimes over tinkering, sometimes not making in the changes that he needs to change.
Yes.
Has that been? Is that true or yes or no?
He's been naive. He's been exposed. He's been toothless. It's been just poor. You know what? Everything that you just mentioned there, he has been found out away from home. It's not been good enough, and it needs to be better. This is not good enough, man. The football we're playing away from home, it just seems to be. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I need to go back and study Ajax away from home. I'm not gonna lie. Tonight, I'm watching Ajax games away from home. What did he used to do? And what was his game plan? And what was the games? Did he win? Did he win the big games away from home? Did he lose them? All of a sudden, I need to go back and study what's gone on in the away games, because at home it's totally different. It can be pragmatic. It can be on the transition. It can be sometimes where we might be camped a little bit and then boom, Rashford on the overlap. I get that, but that's coming from we haven't got the amount of players that he probably wants to play the style of football that he needs. But away from home, it just needs to be a bit less compact. It needs to be a bit less chaotic, if I'm being honest with you. It needs to be a bit more structured, measured.
Structured.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, let me just go to Booker. Booker said Nuruddin a few weeks ago. That's what he means. Eric Ten Hag is a miracle worker. Yes. And what did I say? What was the next sentence? This is unsustainable because we lack the depth, the quality, and the strength in the squad. And you know what? You left that bit out in it conveniently. I know you try to do got ya. You got to come better than that, mate. Because I know what I've said. And I've said it on the straight jacket. And I've said it to Saeed and Tom again and again and again. And I said, it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. I've done 8 or 9 videos on this channel alone. Forget the straight jacket podcast when I'm talking about it. I say he's a miracle worker, but it's unsustainable. That the collapse is going to come. I have warned about this. Saeed knows that. Tom knows that. But good try. For effort, I'll give you 2 little finger clap. Because he ain't getting me, pal. Not that good, mate. You think in your head you might be good, but you're not that good. The last of the sentence is it's unsustainable. We lack the strength, the depth, and the quality in the team. And I said it again and again. I've been saying it for 2-3 months, while all of you were calling me negative.
No, I've got to shoot, man. I'm gonna go get ready for iftar. But you know what? I just want to say my last piece, man. I want to say, guys, we have to move on. We have to move on, Nordin. Tom,
no, Saeed, I promise, Saeed, whether we like it or not, we move on because the game comes thick and fast.
I'm worried. Brentford, Nordin, I ain't gonna lie to you. Brentford, I don't have a match prediction. What do you call it? Prediction. I don't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I worry about the field.
What was your match prediction for Newcastle? Can I ask you a question before you go? What was your match prediction for Newcastle?
My honest one was that I thought we were going to lose. The one I gave to the people, and I lied, by the way, I'll openly admit it, is that I said 2-1 for Man United. But
no, listen, you don't have to lie. It's not a lie because you can't really bet. I was here on United Real Therapy on this channel. I was shaking in my boots, and I told people it could be 5 or 4. Why do I think it's going to be 5 or 4? Why? Because I know our record. I know our record away from home. I know our record. My eyes don't lie to me, Puka, like they lie to you, pal. That's the difference. But Saeed, enjoy iftar. Big up to you.
Big up.
The only thing I will say to you, is that they're full of goals. They're full of goals.
Tony will be difficult. If Tony rattles Lisandro or Varane, game over, mate. Could be a red card somewhere. I tell you what, man. Listen, love, make sure you like the video. There's over 200 in here, man. You got to like the video, guys. Come on, man. Like the video, people. Love.
Listen, Saeed, go and check out the Straight Jacket podcast, people, because I lost my voice. That's where it got heated. So go and check that out on Saeed TV. Make sure you follow Saeed on all across social media, man. Big up to Saeed. Tom, I'm going to let you come in. Eric Ten Hag's been found wanting. Do you agree with Saeed's assessment in away games in the league that he's overstretched himself and that he doesn't know these players like that we know these players?
I don't think it's that he doesn't know the players, because I think he knows the players from this point in the season now. I just think he doesn't know the prestige of playing away games in the Premier League and how hard it is and demanding it is in games. Because you take Newcastle, for example. Do we honestly believe that he's ever been to a Newcastle home game? Ever? Even just as a visit? Probably not, no. And he doesn't know about the history behind the game or the atmosphere. He probably doesn't know that. Liverpool, he said that he'd never been to Anfield before, ever, but the team would be up for the atmosphere. Well, they weren't, were they? We saw that with what happened with Liverpool. Other games this season, do you honestly think he'll have even known who Brentford was when he was at Ajax? Probably not. And he came to the English League and he got slapped 4-0. He probably won't even know who some of these clubs are before he came to England. And yeah, he's a smart, educated man, absolutely. But a lot of these clubs, he will not know the away sort of form or the away atmosphere of these clubs. Leeds away, for example, the rivalry in that game, we only just got by 2 late goals by Rashford and Garnacho in that game. And that was a heated rivalry. That was hostile. The first, even at the home in that game, we underestimated Leeds. And we went 2-0 down. So ultimately, to answer your question, I don't think he doesn't know these players enough, because I think from now, he knows who he can rely on and who he can't. And for what position he can only use with what he's got, in terms of when Casemiro doesn't play, when Eriksen's not there, he has to use with what he's got. And that's Fred McTominay, Sabitzer, these kind of players. That's all he's got. He can't do anything else unless he's going to shove a young kid out there like Zoran Iqbal and get absolutely bopped around and not do anything for his confidence or try and progress him as a player at all. And ultimately, you go to the away form, it doesn't go well.
From that performance, I'd rather have seen Zidane Iqbal.
Yeah, but in hindsight, we're going to say that.
But let me finish. I would rather see that, because if you bopped around at least he would learn from the future. He would gain that experience. I just want to go to Philip McGee. Philip McGee, there's a word called nuanced, yeah? Nuanced conversation. And I want you to go and do a little bit of homework and look at that word and what it means and the definitions of that. I'm not saying... listen, there are, like, honestly, the Ten Hag stand is unbelievable. I swear to God. No manager can ever be criticized. No manager can ever be criticized for the way Man United are performing away from home. The difference between you guys and me is that I'm honest. I'm honest. When there's criticism to be had, when praise is to be had, I give the praise. When criticism needs to be had, I give it. And I go by match by match. Manchester United away record has been absolutely abysmal. Abysmal against the top 9. We can see 29 goals, right? In the last games, since Liverpool, Man United in league games have scored zilch. 5 hours of football, zilch. So, yes, I'm going to question the manager. Does that mean that I want the manager replaced? No. No, I don't. I take everything into consideration. I take the length of the time that he's been here. I take the hands that he's been dealt with. The Glazers not giving him the money to go and get a striker in January. Even though I was screaming it out, go look at all of the videos. Even if Ronaldo stayed, I said it from the summer onwards. All the things I fucking predicted have come to light. And some of you can't fucking take that because you got me in your head as Mr. Negative. But now you're realizing that the season is falling apart. And I said it and I kept saying it. Lack of depth, strength, quality. We've got ourselves in too many competitions and something had to give. And it's giving now. You can't take that. So you all want to put shields around Erik ten Hag. Well, let me tell you something. Erik ten Hag is a manager. He can take the criticism. You don't need to help him. He doesn't need your help. Know who you're supporting. He needs to effing realize what club he's managing. He's not managing Ajax in the Eredivisie. He's managing Manchester United. And I'm not accepting. I am never effing accepting us getting bopped around for 94 minutes in a game. I'm not. One shot on goal. One shot in 94 minutes. Getting bumped around by a team that in a year and a half ago were fighting relegation. No effing way. I don't give 2 Fs who the fucking manager is. It's simple. I have standards. Some of you have lost standards. That's what it is, people. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. The rest of you have lost standards. You think Mickey Mouse trophies are going to help Man United? Man United won Mickey Mouse Trophy 1, Mickey Mouse Trophy 2 under Jose Mourinho. Where did it get us? Where did it get us? No fucking where. So miss me out with those. Finishing highest point tally as we can in the league is important to me. Fight for FA Cup is important to me. Getting into Champions League and then getting out of the Champions League, into getting out of the group stages, going to the quarters, it matters to me because that's his progression. Winning shitty cups that we've won before means F all to me. That's the difference. That's the difference of opinion. You have every right to have your opinion. I've got every right to have my opinion. So don't try to be clever and put words in my mouth. It's simple. Erik ten Hag has been absolutely horrendous in away games. Even with Eriksen. Even against the top 9. Even with Casemiro. So there's no excuses there. It is what it is, people. It's simple. Yeah, exactly. And people were accusing us on this channel, if you can't do this to Newcastle, if we can't do that to Newcastle. To Newcastle. It is what it is. Listen, at the end of the day, people don't want to like the video, innit? But that's the funny thing, innit? They turn up for the content, but they don't want to like the video. I can't effing help them, can I? I can't effing help them. But it is what it is. I'd like to thank Tom. Big up to Tom and big up to Saeed for the contribution. Smash a like. Those of you who know this is a good content during Ramadan, make sure you smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And hit that notification button because it lets you know when we're next live. At the end of the day, it is what it is. For me, Eric Ten Hag needs to effing understand who the F he's managing. That's what he needs to do. I know these players who are part of the failure, and one of them has just been given a contract for another 4 years at Manchester United. We know these players more than Eric Ten Hag knows them. We know them. We know what players do when they got to play for a contract. Like I said, we bought the T-shirt. We've got it all. So, Tom Journalist 1 on Twitter, Saeed TV on everything, people. It is what it is. Couple of more chats. Nuruddin seems more angry than a 7-0 at Liverpool. Yes, you know why? At Liverpool, in the first half, Man United were playing decent. We were competing in the first half. Second half, they all went to what happened. But this, for 94 minutes, Man United were bopped all over the pitch. This was, for me, worse than the 7-0. This was worse because in the first half, at least Man United made chances and were in good attacking positions against Liverpool. Second half is where they crumbled, like the absolute soft, like apple crumble. That's when they did it. Big up Jarvis. Did the lack of defensive midfielder dropping down with De Gea was playing out from the back. 100% noticed that. Georgia B says, we always struggle without Casemiro. Even with Casemiro, we struggle away from home. Even with Casemiro. I watched the Crystal Palace. And let me remind you that Crystal Palace, Eriksen, Casemiro playing, and we drew 1-1. We drew 1-1. I don't know what the hell we were doing. The bidders from Man UFC have to receive a response for their latest offer this week. We'll see what happens. Nuruddin, do you want Ten Hag replaced? That's an absolute joke. You're just trolling right now. But it is what it is, people. It is what it is. We take it. We'll see what happens. We'll be back hopefully tomorrow night for a looking ahead to Brentford, because that's not going to be an easy game. Bayern sacked Nagelsmann while being within the title race. We're defending Eric Ten Hag and our players while we're falling to stay top 4. Listen, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Listen, Eric Ten Hag is the manager that I wanted, manager that I trust, but I don't trust the football club and I don't trust these fucking players, right? And Eric Ten Hag needs to learn fucking very quickly, needs to learn. We're not here to get humiliated. We're a football club. Our history, our heritage, the badge means something. We're not here for him to go, ooh, the players, you've got to learn my principle. No. When it's going wrong, change the fucking game. Change the fucking game. I'm not here to get embarrassed. I'm never accepting that from no fucking manager. I never expected it from Fergie. I'm not expecting it from anybody else. And Fergie did what he did. 13 fucking league titles. Absolutely imaginable. Made the impossible possible. So I never accepted Mills getting humiliated on the Fergie, but I'm going to accept getting humiliated on the Ten Hag. You're having a fucking laugh. That is far from me saying, oh, I want the manager out. There's a fucking difference. Stop tinkering, right? Stop trying to be fucking overcomplicate it. Have a structure and a way of competing away from home. That against the top teams and quality teams. The reason why I mentioned the top 9 teams is because they're the top teams in the league. We fail short. We get humiliated. We get bopped around the pitch. I'm not having it. No, I understand that in the whole. But away in the top 9 teams in the league, it's not. His record is abysmal as well with Casemiro. I'm sorry to say that to you, bro, but it's the truth. The facts don't lie. Man United conceded 27 or 29 goals in away games in the league this season. It's abysmal. It's absolutely abysmal. No news. No news, Haroon. No news whatsoever. Next week, apparently, we will hear some news, but no news. It is what it is. No, 100%. No, 100%. No, I understand that. But can we stop comparing us to Man City, please? We're not Man City. We are what we are with Manchester United. We're not Man City. We're not. You saw it in January. I don't know why United for life. Why you want to compare? In January, they said you can get a loan, a championship player on loan. That's what they've said. It's simple, mate. It's simple. We have to have a structure. Oh God. Oh, listen, I feel bad for you, man. I feel bad for you. Listen, like I said, if you got bullied, if somebody victimized you, I feel really bad for you. So I apologize for that. But you're taking out on the wrong one. You're taking out on the wrong one. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. If you don't hear about opinion, passionate opinion, then you come to the wrong channel, my friend. You've come to the wrong channel. You've come to the wrong channel. I'm just looking to see if Robert Smith replied to my message. If Robert Smith replied to my message when he made his little cowardly victim kind of comment. I want to see, because Shabbat, to me, he's lost his head. You don't turn into about a passion. You can't see a passionate fan who's talking about their football club and everything to do with it, and then come with your own victimhood and bring it to the show. Nobody's bullying nobody, mate. Nobody's bullying nobody. Absolutely nobody. But looks like Robert Smith, like the coward that he is, cowarded out. Because I can't see it. I can't see that he actually said anything about what he said about me talking about a victimhood. So looks like he's another coward. It is what it is, people. All, like I said, all of it leads to where the players are. Now the White Knights, mate, they got done. They got done. It is what it is. They got done. It is what it is, man. The White Knights. They couldn't get the money. Top 4 guaranteed. Europa League not guaranteed to win. 100%. And Wazim, you've got it right there. Because of the collapse of Chelsea and the collapse of Liverpool, Man United had a massive opportunity to get out of the Mickey Mouse Trophy like the Europa League and to try to finish highest they can in the league. But looks like that's done now. And if Spurs win tonight, Man United are out of the top 4. It is what it is. Love and light, people. It is what it is, mate. Some people, it's too much for some people, innit? Their insecurities come about. Nuruddin, you're not a bad person. If you were, most people would not be watching you now. Please calm. Listen, I'm calm. Trust me, I'm calm. Bro, I'm calm. I'm calm. I'm calm. It's simple, innit? If in the future, Caro should be in May. These players, down tools, are on vacation mode. Yeah, they're playing like that, 100%. Like I tell people, come with me with any facts. Man United beat Barcelona. Man United win the Carabao Cup, League Cup, and Man United think they've done it all. They've done it all, and our form after that, and the way we've been playing has been dreadful, especially in the league. Facts don't lie, mate. Facts don't lie. The facts are there. Man United in 5 hours of football have not scored a goal. I've not scored a goal. Listen, under this ownership, Ten Hag's not going to get that amount of players, bro. He's not. I'm going to tell you now, Ten Hag's not going to get those players. He's not going to get those players. He's not. Because we're not run like that, bro. We're not run like that. So what Ten Hag needs to understand is that work with what he's got now and understand that competing in all these shitty cups is not going to help you. The league matters. Your away record matters. When you play against top teams, it matters. I'm not asked about shitty Europa League. I'm not asked about that. I'm asked about the league. It's a difference of opinion. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is. United for life. That's all it is. But I'm not getting bopped around. I'm not taking getting bopped around, mate. I'm not getting bopped around. Mentally, we checked out Carabao win. I have no big hopes for the rest of the season. Can it be hurt if you have no expectation? No, we can't. Blocker, you're better than me, innit? Because I do, even though I was warning against it. My little optimistic self is still thinking, ooh, this team can do something. But obviously they've proven it. And Blocker, I remember you commenting exactly the same other things that we've been talking about for the past 2-3 months. That's something I have to give. He's back. He says, yeah, maybe if you take others' opinions without screaming, I'll be calm. I've been watching your channel, my friend. We're on the same page. Maybe let Saeed and others talk without screaming. No, I've let them talk. But if they don't let me finish my point, that's all they have to do. When I scream, if you watch the videos, I scream when people don't let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. People then can come back. And I mute. You've seen that. I mute and let them say whatever. If they make a point, I might challenge it. But I don't scream for no reason. There's a difference. There's an absolute difference. No hard feelings. No hard feelings, Hussein. No hard feelings whatsoever. Never confuse devotion with delusion. We've got a lucky goal with his. Listen, it is what it is, innit? Like I said, Man United, for me, that game we played well, but we beat Barcelona in a Mickey Mouse trophy. We won a Mickey Mouse trophy, and the season's done, and the players look like they've checked out. And Erik ten Hag is coming out defending these players who are absolutely letting him down week on a week. We've not scored a league game in 5 hours. In 5 hours of football. That is abysmal. That is shameful. That is shameful. And I blame every one of those players, but I also blame Erik ten Hag's tactics. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. We're 800, 900 away from 7,000. Peace, love, light, Glazers out, bankers out. All in the hands of the Glazers. And how disappointed I am. How disappointed I am that somebody who typifies the 8 years, 9-year failure, Luke Shaw, he's got another 4-year contract. It's absolutely abysmal to me. It's fucking abysmal. It is. Wasim, you got it, bro. You got it. You got it. Exactly. It's simple. It's simple. Individuals. What's the difference between Erik ten Hag? Sorry, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer there. Individuals. We're supposed to be a fucking team, and we don't play like a team. But win, lose, draw, Glazers out, bankers out. But Erik ten Hag, know who the fuck you're managing. Please know who the fuck you're managing. Know who you're managing. Know who you're managing. Midfield. Players who are comfortable on the ball, can play a pass. Players who are aggressive and play with intensity, even when we're losing. Players who give it. That's what we need. Modern energy, getting about the pitch. That's what we need. And we need a lot more of those players who are technically gifted, can keep hold of the ball. That's what we need. After that performance of yesterday, I want every one of those fuckers gone. That's me. Except maybe for 3. Peace, love, light. Take care, people. Like I said, big up to all the people in the comments as well. Big up for everybody for the super chats as well. Big up Georgie B. Please let people know about the channel. People don't like the truth. We talk our truth here. We talk our truth. Nobody's bullying anybody. Nobody victimizes anybody. We speak our truth here. If you don't want somebody to give their truth, to give their opinion passionately, you've come to the wrong channel. If you like that, subscribe to the channel and let people know about the channel. We're 880 or 90 away from 7,000. Take care, people. Love and light. Big up to everybody. Glazers out, bankers out. Take care. Peace.